So denying it from Demon very early on is going to be a bit of a nice touch here.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, speaking of Demon, actually, a lot of the plays of Flash Wolves rely on Demon and, you know, how he needs to pop off and everything. And I'm just wondering, you know, should Demon be banned? Should SBTC Esports actually catch on to that? Do you think that he's that key player that they really need to latch onto, or is it Isera?
It's hard to say. I mean, I would never say that Ysera is a key player. He does his job when the situation requires it. I don't think he's the star, but I think he can be stable, and I'm impressed if we are seeing that from him. But Demon does need to be shut down. He does need to be punished for his aggressive gameplay, and that's going to be a Nunu trash combo from SBTC.
And is the Ari. Look, so I wonder if you share this kind of same sentiment as well, Omo, because like I feel like last game you could have maybe subtracted the brand and swapped it for the Ari. We've seen it be so strong into these bruises when they're running at you. You know, a Torn, into a Post, into a Root, into a Charm, like all the CC in the world, right? By that time, as we said, that was the key words. I don't mind it here. I mean, there's a lot of time to find that pick, to, you know, lock down that key target. I guess that is the adaptation here. And you are removing a lot of the poke, right, with the Varus and Zig. So you're just saying, we want to take a straight 5v5, burn your ultimates. Let's see which cooldown management, you know, can be respected better. I think this game's going to come down to, yeah, timing summoners and understanding the equilibrium of how these fights could play out.
Yeah. Omo, any last thoughts on the draft?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a really interesting draft from both of these teams. I feel like Flash Wolves, they're once again doing the same thing, right? Where they like to get the double marksman flex. If they get into the mid to late game, they are going to be super strong. But that's always going to be scary into a Camille. And I do think that SBTC with the trash Nunu, I think they're on a bit of a timer as well.
Yeah, we're going to see indeed if SBTC Esports can pull through or if Flash Wolves will continue this win streak. Casters, over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Mika, and welcome back everyone to SBTC versus Flash Wolves and TJ. Now we have quite of a different draft that we saw from game number 1.
Yeah, Infinity, this is wild. So SBTC have doubled down on the experimentation here. They've got themselves the Thresh Kai'Sa lane. Thresh, of course, I think pretty powerful here and kind of one of the only pure tank you know, frontline supports that is meta right now. They also have the only tank jungler that I think you can build full tank in TF, pulling out this Nunu. And they're pitching all of this around the damage that has to come from Julie's Akali and Kirill's Kai'Sa. And that's gonna be it. Minas is going to be a duelist, but he's not going to have major teamfight damage. He'll be useful in late game teamfights as a counter to what Bruce and Demon are pulling out. This double AD carry comp from Flash Wolves doing so much damage. But they are relying, at least for the early mid game, on what Julie and Kirill can put out with this double tank frontline. And that is really exciting to me.
Yeah, and if SBTC gets punished, especially with Kuki coming for Flash Wolves in the level 5, if Julie gets punished, if Kirill gets punished, and I think that changes things up for SBTC Esports. I think it's going to be much more harder, as you've stated. These two players are going to be the damage dealer, the ones that SBTC Esports is going to depend onto. So I think they really need to scale up in this early game.
That's a gnarly snowball. You see
Calculated.
that? Do you see how, like, green and gross it was, Infinity?
Yeah, I saw it. It's like, I don't know. The snowball has grass, has plants. I mean, they're walking on grass fields.
Yeah, I don't think that's grass, man. That's pretty gross.
I don't know, too, but what I know is Flash Wolves go for the 3-man roll top lane.
Dear.
Ignite, gonna burn him down.
Wow.
That's gonna be the first blood for Flash Wolves.
In the bot lane, though, there's a counter gank from SBTC, and all the Flash Wolves are so low after that experience that they're not going to be able to take a plate off the turret, not going to be able to hang around, because they have to be worried about the roam up here from players like Julie. SBTC don't, it looks like, managed to make the counter gank happen, but they are threatening down here.
Yeah, they want to pressure in. Eason is very low on HP, but he's strong when it comes to defensive capabilities, when it comes to base stats. So SBTC Esports will not be able to punish Eason.
Okay, so first 3 minutes of the game, I don't know how many players know this. Judging by my solo queue games, not very many. But first 3 minutes of the game, these turrets are real beefy boys. First 3 minutes of the game, these turrets are grass-fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you start trying to chew away at them, you're just not going to get anything. So it is the only reason you go for an early gank in the first 3 minutes is to get kills. You can't do it to get a turret unless, like we saw on the top side, you get the kill really cleanly, then you can hang around and get the turret, which is kind of what I wanted Flash Wolves to do, but they've taken too much damage. So what we see down bottom there is Flash Wolves recognizing that, saying, okay, we don't need to stop you from getting access to this turret. We don't need to zone you off, SBTC. It's all right if Kirill autos the turret twice. The turret's not going to notice.
Yeah, it's like an ant biting onto, I don't know, a brick.
Name a big animal.
A big animal. Elephant. That comes into
Sure,
mind.
an ant biting an elephant.
Right. So I think it's so difficult, and as you stated, supporting that statement, that I think when adding onto members under a turret, it also adds defensive capabilities. As far as I understood, the patch in like patch 1 or patch 2 for Wild Rift. So I think that changes things up. As you stated, they need those skills, and they have not gotten that. So no trades for SBTC Esports, and Flash Wolves leading the pack here for now for game number 1.
Yeah, we're coming on the first objectives of this game. SBTC have a little bit stronger of an early team fight. They have a little bit stronger of a first level team fight here. Because they have the Camille, they have so many abilities that do damage. That's how you measure this. Ooh, okay.
Oh no, Isra gonna be locked in. Hexic Ultimate will follow up. Cookie in there, but they're not gonna be able to save Isra's life. And now it's gonna be a 3v1. Cookie's on the edge. They want to get that trade. Will not be able to do so, but now Flash Wolves gets in the party. That will be Eason and Lucian to save the day. Gets a kill down. That will be the 1-for-1.
Oh, Killer Instinct! He's got him!
He got the kill. What was that, Kaisa? Kirill being sneaky.
What a play from SBTC! And they leave the trading 2-for-1 off of a massive roam, and they're going to try and force this Rift Herald. This Rift Herald, by far the more important early objective in this game. You don't want a Cloud Drake. Nobody wants a Cloud Drake. So they benefit from these respawns. They're going to get this Rift Herald, and Flash Wolves, a little slow on the uptake, will trade it, handshake it for this Cloud Drake.
Yeah, and it gives you much more value, right? It gives you 300 gold, and it gives you a little bit more extra pressure into the mid game if you want to utilize it to get the power first blood.
Oh dear.
Or get the mid lane turret.
Venus in trouble here. We'll be able to jump away. So right now, SBTC are looking at the map and thinking, how long do we need to wait so we can get our 5v5 or even our skirmish team fight, leveraging our tank frontline online? And what that looks like is TF finding engage, Arkano finding engage. Minas will be fine here. Nice flash. And the damage during that fight coming from Kirill. So what you're waiting for, if you're SBTC, is the arrival of Kirill as a damage source. That's going to be around second item once he's got a decent amount of crit, if he's able to maintain pace, by which I mean if he's about level with the other team. If he falls behind, you need to wait for a third item to do damage as a Kaisa. But Kirill's even slightly ahead right now. So you're looking at second item, give or take.
Yeah, we're waiting for the BRK. We're waiting for those item power spikes because currently he only has the BF sword, the Executioner's Calling, the longsword, which upgrades your Arcadian range, but not that much damage when it comes down to it. So we just need to wait for a little bit longer while Flash Wolves gets a tower first blood easy, uncontested bot lane.
Yeah, SBTC threw down the Rift Herald in the mid lane, slightly off camera, but it was really a profound waste. And I've seen a couple of teams, especially Vietnamese teams, do this. Just kind of throwing the Rift Herald, seeing what happens. You should not be spending the Rift Herald if it's not going to get you a turret. Because anyone can chip away and just like auto-attack a turret and get a couple of plates. And if you have enough access to summon the Rift Herald in a situation like that, you can probably just auto it for the same effect. What you should be spending the Rift Herald for is when you're able to drop a turret down to half HP with autos, and then you want to finalize the turret take.
Yeah, and I think that's a general consensus, right? It's better to put Rift Herald maybe into the top lane or bot lane, but you have that security of getting the turret. So I think that's going to be something that SBTC wants. But right now, they're fighting into the mid lane. Flash Wolves going in for the engage as well. Counter attack. Hexic Ultimatum locks down Isra. Isra will fall down. That is the follow-up. Cookie will die as well. And now Eason forced to back away. And that will be SBTC taking a turret mid lane and 2 kills.
And that's exactly what I was talking about in terms of these defensive 5v5s that SBTC are going to be so good at. Kirill can reposition out of danger using the Killer Instinct and then sit with Julie behind TF behind Akino, the tankiest front line in the game with this double tank composition. Thanks to the addition of Nunu to the jungle pool, you can have an extra tank in this composition. And there's just no way for Flash Wolves to access either the AD carry or the mid lane. They can just sit there, pump out damage, and Flash Wolves melt.
You just have so much peel, right? TF building up pure attack, but here into the top lane, different story. Esra going for the 1v1, 1v2, not gonna be getting killed there.
Wow.
But look at the train of armies from Flash Wolves. They went in for 5-man roam immediately in top lane.
And I love that from Julie, having the common sense not to overchase there. It was a very low HP Ysera, but it matters so much more that Julie doesn't die here, because Julie, again, you're running a double tank composition. That means Julie, that means Kiral. Their lives are so important, so valuable. You have to know that when you're an AD carry. Every second that you're dead isn't just, oh, no, I'm dead. It's, I'm not farming. I'm not gaining gold. I'm falling behind. So, fall back. Let them take the turret. SPTC will get the turret trade down bottom. And overall, it's fine. Net even. In fact, maybe even a net gain, because Kiral gets the gold. Kiral, on that Kai'Sa, got the turret gold down bottom.
Yeah, definitely. On top of all that, Flash Wolves went in for the 5-man roam top lane, so they're losing on gold in mid lane. And also bot lane when it comes to farm. So I think that was a net positive for SBTC Esports, as you stated. Going for the trade into the bot lane, just going for the split. But now, Mountain Dragon, this is a different story. What do you think will happen here? Flash Wolves now
It's all down to TF kind of defining this fight early. That's what you're looking for. The TF and Akino, as the two tanks, set the pace for this fight. And if they can get in and zone back Flash Wolves, build space for their carries, that's going to decide things here.
Well, it looks like they're zoning it away, and SBTC actually steals down the Mountain Dragon, and now Flash Wolves tries to go for the counter engage. Hexing ultimatum goes for it, and now it's gonna be the double kill come from Bruce as well. But 2 for 3 coming down, and Kira into the backside also is dominating, and now Bruce will be the only one alive. That will be the quadra kill. That will be the ace for Flash Wolves. 5 for 4.
And it's carry versus carry, as Bruce and Kiral both go huge. And you can see how both team comps set up for success there. TF, Akino, they go in early, and Kiral spends that entire team fight just free firing. Watch this phase right here, while Kiral is just sitting behind his front line, auto-attacking away. But you flip the camera, you look at the other side of this fight, that's also what Bruce is doing. That's also what's happening for Demon, is he sits there just completely unshacked, able to free fire. The difference is, as this fight fades, Ysera's still up, and none of the tanks for SBTC are. So Ysera can take the focus, Ysera can take the front line and build space for Bruce to leverage his damage, whilst over on the SBTC side, it's just the two carries left, Kiral and Julie, and neither of them have enough HP to take the sustained focus of Bruce whilst they melt the carry.
Now Flash Wolves going for an engage into the mid lane, easing very low. That's gonna get a kill coming in from Akino, and now Julie comes into fray, goes for the damage output. Spirit Rush comes down over the wall.
Unharmed.
Kiral unharmed, as you've stated, but Flash Wolves going back away easy, but that will be the lantern from Akino, pulling down Ari into the mid lane as well. No follow-up though.
I love the use of lanterns. We've seen Akino be really creative with these lanterns today, getting very aggressive, throwing lanterns in. The other thing you want to watch for on very good Thresh players is throwing that lantern forward and sitting back, allowing your AD carry to kind of poke, to get in a riskier position than they normally could, because the lantern will bail them out and offer an opportunity to disengage.
Yeah, it was played offensively by Akino from that lantern. Absolutely phenomenal from SBTC Esports. But once again, they're going for this type of aggression up against Flash Wolves.
I love this.
Flash Wolves is dancing with the same melody.
Because if they engage onto TF, SBTC win. And both these teams are kind of playing the same battle. If SBTC engage onto Ysera, Flash Wolves win. So as long as TF's taking the risk, as long as Ysera's taking the risks, this is an even game. What changes here is if you see a charm land from Julie onto either Bruce or Demon. If you see either Bruce or Demon pulled out of position, charmed, that sort of thing, it's an instant team fight end, because SBTC have the damage to blow up those key carries. Flash Wolves, I think, have a little bit of a compositional disadvantage at this point, because they don't have that easy charm, easy engage. The best option they have is the explosive cask from Eason, who can split the team fight and hopefully knock someone out of position.
Now we'll see how that comes into fruition as now Flash Wolves going for the engage 4v3 into the mid lane, but Minas comes into fray as well. No kills. They don't want to fight this.
Yeah, I mean, you can see exactly... Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's pretty solid and very followed up with a Bolt Breaker.
There's the cask.
The cast actually goes for the disengage, but will not be able to do so. 2 kills coming from Flash Wolves, and now they're collapsing. It's gonna be a Flash Wolves going for the damage output, but SBTC went for the counter attack. That will be the double kill, triple kill, and now the quadra for Carol.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. They throw out the engage. Flash Wolves spend everything. Who do they kill? They kill the tanks. They engage onto TF and Akano. And that's okay for SBTC because Flash Wolves have then spent everything. And guess who's still thriving and living in the backlines? It's Julie, it's Kirol, it's Minas, the damage dealers, who can sweep back in and end that team fight. And this is going to be close. Minas might die to the Baron. But they will get the Baron. And that likely gives SBTC game number 2 of this series.
Yeah, huge lead right now for SBTC Esports. It's not just a tiny bit of lead. It's not just a medium level of lead. It's a massive lead because we're considering 5k gold lead. They got the Baron Nashor. They have that opportunity to pressure down onto the Flash Wolves, but now Flash Wolves wants a trade objective. They're starting onto Infernal Dragon, but TF zoning them away with a snowball down. SBTC Esports going for the counter attack as well, but look at the Infernal Dragon. That's going to kill. That's going to be SBTC Esports putting it away for themselves, and now they're crashing down on the pitch. That is not where you want to be, Flash Wolves. It's going to be the triple. 4 kills, 5 kills for SBTC. Another quadra for Kira as they take it down for Flash Wolves.
And look at the relative health bars. Nobody on SBTC is full HP except for Kirol because he sits in the back, waits for his time, and cleans up the fight, cleans up game number 2.
And that will be SBTC Esports taking this game, equalizing the series.